What if the strangest sci-fi stories weren't fiction at all? From wartime pilots who crash-landed decades ago to women who claimed they met Marie Antoinette. These aren't just urban legends. They're chilling, documented tales that refuse to disappear. So, buckle up, because these 5 real stories might mess with your timeline. In August 1901, 2 British academics, Charlotte Moberly and Eleanor Jourdan, visited Versailles for a casual tour. While wandering off-path near the Petit Trianon, something strange happened. They claimed the scenery changed. The people, clothes, and even the atmosphere felt different. They described seeing 2 men in 18th century uniforms, a woman sketching on the terrace, whom they later believed was Marie Antoinette, and a haunting sensation of stepping through time itself. When the vision vanished, they were surrounded once again by tourists in modern clothing. Years later, they published a book detailing their experience, igniting debates among scholars and spiritualists alike. Was it mass delusion or a rare case of what some call a time slip? But what if time slips aren't accidents, but remnants of something intentional? In Stalin-era Leningrad, a boy named Evgeny Gaiduchok was adopted by a Soviet family. He claimed to be from the 23rd century, stuck in the past after using a time machine to impress a girl. Naturally, everyone assumed he was just imaginative, but Gaiduchok grew up writing strange poems describing things that didn't yet exist. Mobile phones, the internet, spaceports. He calmly predicted the German invasion of Russia in 1941 and the war's end in May 1945. Every time, his prophecies came true. Later, he built a personal time tape stretching into the 2100s. He foresaw the fall of the USSR, intergalactic travel, and AI networks, decades before they were real concepts. His daughter swears by the accuracy of his predictions even today. From visions of the past to voices lost in the sky, not every traveler returns home quietly. In 1992, air traffic control in Caracas, Venezuela, detected a World War II-era Douglas DC-4 approaching. The pilot claimed he was flying from New York to Miami in 1955, confused and frightened when told it was 1992. He aborted the landing and vanished mid-air. No wreckage, no trace. A similar mystery struck the English coast in 1996. A Curtiss P-40 fighter, declared lost in 1944, suddenly landed on a woman's lawn. The pilot was dazed, disoriented, and identified as Lieutenant John Walker, missing for 50 years. His fingerprints and photo match perfectly. In both cases, the planes were real, the pilots authentic, and their presence impossible. But not all time travelers fall from the sky. Some quietly walked among us, wearing business suits. Andrew Carlson entered the stock market in early 2003 with $800 and made $350 million in just 2 months. His trades were flawless, impossibly so. When arrested by the SEC and questioned by the FBI, Carlson gave a bizarre explanation. "I'm from the year 2256. He said he had returned with knowledge of which stocks would rise and fall. When pressed, he even offered to reveal Osama bin Laden's location and cure cancer if they let him go. His record showed no history before 2002. Then, just as suddenly, he vanished, bailed out by an unknown source, never seen again. Was it an elaborate hoax or a security breach from the future? If so, he's not the only one who stepped through the wrong door and into the wrong century." Aboard a Mexican train in the 1970s, a young surgeon was startled when a frantic man in 18th century clothing burst into his compartment, declaring himself Minister Jorge de Balenciaga. Moments later, the man vanished, but left behind a goosefeather pen and antique wallet, both verified as 18th century relics. Decades later, another story emerged. In 1988, in Tokyo, a man dressed in early 1900s attire was hit by a car. He had an ID dated 1888 and matched a man who reportedly vanished in 1902. His daughter confirmed the photo. He hadn't aged a day. And then there was Florence, a teen from 1990s France, who claimed she wandered into the year 2245. She awoke 3 days later, disoriented and pregnant. No one believed her, but the timing, symptoms, and details left many wondering. What happened? Some disappear, some return, and some remain stuck between pages of forgotten reports. These aren't just ghost stories, they're puzzles with missing pieces. Whether hoaxes, coincidences, or glimpses into a fractured timeline, these cases defy simple explanation. Maybe time isn't a line, but a loop. Maybe history leaks. Or perhaps we've already met someone from the future and didn't notice. Like, share, and subscribe to more strange but true stories.